Today is Thursday, Parashat Vayechi. Parashat of this week, Yaakov Avinu blesses his children, each one according to his qualities and to his natural tendencies. But he opens by saying, Vayomer asefu ve'agid lachem et asher ikra etchem be'aharit hayamim. And he tells them to assemble, come together, so that I can tell you what will happen at the end of days. He wanted to reveal to them actually the time of coming of Mashiach. But that, he was not allowed to do that. He's from Shamayim. He was stopped in relieving that. But at the same time, the fact that he tells them to gather and come together and assemble, which hints to peace and harmony and getting along rather than discord, that will be one of the zechuyot of Am Yisrael in bringing the Mashiach. But then he really blesses each one individually again to indicate that not all children are the same. Parents know that every child has his own, or her own natural tendencies, interests, qualities, character traits, and the idea is how to use each one of us, or each one of the children, each person, how to use those talents and those unique qualities that Hashem has granted him and endowed him with, how to use them to serve Hashem and to do good in this world. So, for instance, Zevulon is a business, a tribe that is inclined to do business, to go on ships to faraway lands, to bring merchandise and to sell. That's what he's told in this, he has that inclination. So not everybody is able to be a businessman that would travel far away and have that kind of a business mind, so to speak. That was Zevulun. Issachar, for instance, he was a person that sat and learned. And yes, there was a symbiotic relationship between them. Zevulun supported Issachar by what he earned, by his business dealings. And Issachar, some of his merit, without taking away from Issachar, was actually also enjoyed by Zevulun because he was supporting him. Yehuda was the person that was most proper in terms of his character traits to be the leader, to be the king. From him came the dynasty. He was a person who was able to admit fault and a person who had self-control. That's different from Reuven. Reuven, who's the firstborn, which maybe typically should have been the one to carry the mantle or to wear the mantle of leadership. But Yaakov Avinu tells him, you know what? You're pahaz kamaim. You're like impetuous by character, and a person who has impetuous tendencies cannot be a leader, because a leader needs to take counsel and to consider things before he reacts. So he's not able, with that kind of approach of Reuben, to be the person who would carry the mantle of leadership and to be the king. So each one of them is given his own blessing that both tells him what are his natural tendencies and how he can use them best to carry to serve Hashem. Shimon and Levi, they're told that they're people that have a tendency to get angry and to, even he said, their weaponry is a stolen craft. And yes, they had that kind of violent energy in them. So if you recognize what are your tendencies, you're able to channel them and direct them in the right direction. In the case of Levi, he mentions here in passing what happened with Dinah and when they killed all the people of Shechem. And Levi was, from him came the tribe, the Kohanim, that were involved in Bet HaMikdash to do slaughtering of the korbanot on a daily basis. And that's, in other words, that energy could be directed at the service of Hashem. And each one of the tribes is that has that blessing that describes what will come, some of his descendants, and how to best use, by hint, his strength and his advantages that he could use, of course, in serving Hashem. And that goes not just for the children of Yaakov, but for every single person to recognize his natural tendencies, his qualities, and his unique potential contribution to those around him, to the world, and most importantly, at the service of Hashem. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.